After over a decade of work, I am finally publishing an epic fantasy novel. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori. Today I have some very exciting news to share with you guys. I am so excited. If you saw my community post a while ago, you already know about this. If you're around me on Twitter or Discord or pretty much anywhere else, I have mentioned it on YouTube quite a few times in my videos, but I wanted to make a specific announcement video for my new book. On November 28th, 2003, I will be releasing book 1 of my trilogy, Legends of the Bruhai. Book 1 is The Bloodstones. And the first thing I want to shout out is this incredible cover that was done by my very best friend of almost 20 years, Sara Ferrari, who is a graphic designer and illustrator. It's everything I wanted this cover to be, to fit the story that I am incredibly proud of inside the book, and I'm just very excited about this. Sara did an absolutely incredible job on this cover. I could not be more pleased with it. I hope you guys all love it too. If you want to see the full version, I will put it here for you to look at and admire. She just did a fantastic job. It was really important to me to have the wraparound for this book. I've always loved wraparound covers, and that was definitely something that I wanted to utilize going into the Legends of the Bruhai. So all 3 of the books in the trilogy will have these really cool wraparound covers. We've already designed all 3 of them, but that's not quite ready for the public eye yet. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing that I'm a writer, or this is the first time that you're hearing about The Bloodstones coming out this year, let me give you a little bit of a background. I've been self-publishing since the age of 14. I was a child author, and through most of my high school career, I sold a ton of books, and I went around to a lot of different young writers conferences and conventions and things, and did motivational speaking about reading and writing. It was kind of a wild, really fast-paced career. I went to college, I got married, I had children, and I took kind of a break from writing. And I knew I always wanted to come back to it. I've wanted to be a writer since I was a little kid, and I've been wanting to write epic fantasy pretty much my entire life. So the fact that I'm finally here, that I'm finally making this announcement video, and I'm finally putting out this book and making my epic fantasy debut feels like an incredibly surreal dream. So what is The Bloodstones about? Over 10 years ago, back in college, I started designing a world called Drillar and all of the different countries in this continent that existed at that time. And I started figuring out what the story of the people who lived here and the history and all of this stuff, and it kept expanding and expanding and expanding, as epic fantasy stories often do. And I put it down for about 10 years after writing the manuscript of what was then book 1. I came back to it 10 years later, and I decided that I really wanted to pick this back up. I felt like I was ready for it. As I started diving back into that world, I realized that the series that I started over 10 years ago in college had a prequel trilogy that I really wanted to write about, and that was where Legends of the Bruhai was born. The Bloodstones, which is the first book in the trilogy, introduces some characters that are new to me, but in a world that I have been working with for a very long time. These characters just kind of came off the page as I was designing this story and digging into the backstory and what had happened before the events of the original series I started 10 years ago, and I just fell in love with it. So to introduce you to what The Bloodstones is about, I'm going to read you the back blurb of the book. A traitor is executed, his name ripped away from history. Now the kingdom stands on the brink of a succession war that could bring the country to its knees. Forces stalk the darkness, moving pawns into place in a deadly game. Garen and his brothers were not meant to witness the execution, but now they find themselves trapped in the center of a political quagmire. When Garen faces the loss of everything he knows, will he also lose himself? To the south, tribal warlords clash in an endless cycle of violence. Sindri, the daughter of a chieftain, kills for the honor of her people. An alliance with a foreign queen offers the power to unite the tribes, but at what cost? Someday, history will remember them as legends. So if you want to be the first to get news about where the Bloodstones is at as we get closer and closer to release date, and that includes updates, pre-order links, etc., go down in the description box below and click on my website where there is a newsletter sign up. The Bloodstones is truly, for me, a love letter to the genre that I so dearly love, that has meant so much to me throughout my life. And I don't have any words, honestly, to express how excited I am and how proud I am to finally be putting this world and these characters out in front of readers and sharing a world that's been pretty much my own little island for the past decade. So I'm very excited for you guys to get a chance to join me here in Drillar and to learn about the characters within Legends of the Bruhai, and I am very, very honored to be part of this indie community where I really have to give so much thanks to all of the people who have encouraged and supported me to get to this point, because writing is such a hard thing, and putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and creating this world and making sure everything makes sense and designing great characters, these are such difficult responsibilities that we as writers take on, and not having a village would make this impossible. So I really have to say a huge thank you to everyone who has been involved in this process. I absolutely could not have done it without you. Absolute gratitude as much as I can give, because I'm just so thankful to be finally at this point. Now, the Bloodstones is obviously my primary news coming up into November, and once again, that's November 28th, 2003. The Bloodstones will be available for purchase on ebook and paperback. I do have an audio narration that is in the works from my good friend Andrew D. Meredith, who is also an incredible fantasy author and wonderful audio narrator. He has narrated all of his own stories and others, and I am so thankful that he is joining me on this project for Bloodstones, because he is going to do an incredible job, and I cannot wait for that to release. But on November 28th, you will be able to get the ebook and paperback versions of Bloodstones. Something that's super helpful for me at this point is if you also go down in the description box below, you will find a link to the Goodreads page of the Bloodstones. It actually is a huge help to authors when you add their book to your TBR shelf or your to be read shelf on Goodreads. Now, the second part of this video is another book that is coming out that I need to talk about because it's also very exciting. Months ago, I was asked to be in a very exciting anthology project by the host and organizer, my friend Dom from Dominish Books here on YouTube, and his idea was that he wanted to design an advent calendar kind of experience, but with short stories from a bunch of indie fantasy authors, all centering around the theme of winter, whether that's the beauty of winter or the danger of winter. So Dom gathered 24 of us together to take part in this awesome project, and we came up with 24 short stories that are all going to be bound together in the advent of winter. Now, we're running it as a Kickstarter, which you will find again down in the description box below. I'll have a link to it down there. You can get in on the Advent of Winter hardback edition, which we've unlocked a bunch of stretch goals already at this point, so it is going to have some beautiful artwork. It's going to have a ribbon. It's just going to be beautiful. I'm very excited to get my hands on it. There's going to be a foil. The artwork is done by Catriona Ward, and it is stunning. It's such a stunning book. I am so excited to be part of it. There's going to be a lot of indie fantasy writer names in this project that you will probably recognize. And it's going to be a great time. 24 different stories from 24 different authors with 24 different styles and tones and settings. It's going to be awesome. So if you enter the Kickstarter at the lowest level, you can get the digital reward, which basically gives you an advent calendar of short stories. You will get a story every day from December 1st all the way to December 24th. From a individual fantasy author that's taking part in the anthology, so you'll be getting your own advent calendar of stories throughout the month of December, and you can also upgrade to get all of those stories bound together in the beautiful limited edition hardcover copy. I am just so grateful and proud to be part of this project. There's going to be, again, a lot of familiar names in there, and I've had the opportunity to read quite a few of the stories, and there's just going to be something for everyone here. This is probably the only time in my life that I'm going to have two books releasing within 3 days of each other, and I'm It's gonna be a little wild, but I'm very excited, obviously, about both of these projects, and yeah, all the links are down in the description box below. Massive thank you to my audience here on YouTube. You guys are amazing. This channel has been such a wonderful platform to build a community on, and I can't wait to give you guys more content about my books here going forward. So the other thing that you're going to want to keep an eye on here on the YouTube channel is from November 28th all the way to December 1st, I'm going to be doing a launch week live stream party here on the channel. I have 3 people who are going to be doing channel takeovers that were involved in the process of the Bloodstones. I'll be doing a live stream on launch day. I'll be doing some giveaways. It's going to be a great time, and I'm really excited for that. So I think that's it for this video. I hope I remembered everything, and you guys are awesome. I hope you're having a fantastic week. I hope you're reading 5-star reads, and I will see you in the next video.